My wife gave control of our billion-dollar fortune to her 22-year-old financial advisor. The final payment for our biggest project was blocked by my CEO wife's newly hired personal financial advisor. He smirked over the phone. Sorry, Mr. Harrison. Every penny of Mrs. Harrison's money is under my control now. Without my approval, you can't access any funds. That's when I learned my wife had handed over control of our company's billion-dollar assets to this fresh college graduate. He'd even posted on LinkedIn, grateful for Mrs. Harrison's trust. I promised to manage everything to the best of my ability. Blessed financial freedom. I called my wife, Victoria, furious. I'm your husband. Company payments need approval from an outsider now. She dismissed my concerns. Blake has an MBA from Wharton. He's more qualified than you to manage finances. Besides, it's just a formality, follow the process. She hung up before I could respond. I texted her, I'll say this once, get rid of him. Read but no reply. Within 10 minutes, Blake Summers was blacklisted from the finance industry. Within an hour, Harrison Industries lost contracts worth hundreds of millions. If someone wanted to test my limits, I'd gladly show them how Harrison Industries could burn. After our competitor won the government contract, I stormed into Victoria's office and threw the rejected proposal on her desk. Before I could speak, she attacked. Ethan, you knew how crucial that contract was for our future. Why didn't you try harder? Sterling Corp stock is already climbing since they announced the win. 3 months of sleepless nights, skipped meals, and now this accused of not trying hard enough. I laughed bitterly. Not trying. Blake froze our funds. I couldn't even enter the bidding. You know how many dinners I attended, how many hands I shook. A guaranteed win, handed to our competitors. You think I'm not furious? But you blame me instead of your golden boy? Blake was there too, pristine white shirt, silver-rimmed glasses, every hair in place. The picture of a young professional. In reality, a clueless kid fresh from college. He'd taken Victoria's $5 million investment and lost $10 million in 3 days. I'd told Victoria to fire him, find someone competent. She refused, insisting Blake was young and needed opportunities to learn. I'd assumed she saw potential I didn't. Before Blake, I'd managed our finances. Victoria used to call me her perfect house husband CFO. When I got too busy, I agreed to let her hire help. But Blake wasn't just incompetent, was ambitious. Using Victoria's protection to override me, demanding I submit formal requests for our own money. Handing billions to an incompetent child, I said coldly. If you have too much money, donate it to charity. Don't waste it on this fraud. Blake flushed with humiliation but maintained his humble act. Mr. Harrison, I understand you're upset about the delayed payment. I'm simply doing my duty protecting Mrs. Harrison's assets. If I make exceptions, anyone could access her money. I can't take that responsibility. Doing his duty? We had corporate procedures, financial departments. Who besides Victoria's husband had the right to access her money directly? He was just flexing his newfound power over the actual husband. Victoria defended him immediately. Ethan, Blake explained everything. He did nothing wrong. Stop bullying him. Even with the funding delay, you could have found alternatives instead of losing such an opportunity. I shouldn't have to teach you business. Let it go this time. From now on, follow proper procedures and submit requests in advance. 3 years of marriage. We'd had professional disagreements before, but this was the first time Victoria sided with another man against me. Making me beg for access to our own money. Had she forgotten who built this empire with her? Watching Blake's satisfied smirk, I fought to control my rage. Victoria, do you understand what you're doing? I was her husband. Everything we owned was marital property, yet she wanted another man controlling it? Victoria returned to her documents, dismissing me. That's enough. Please leave. Fine. I turned and left. Once, Victoria and I were the envy of every Leonia business marriage with genuine love. Blake's arrival had cracked our perfect facade. Victoria, if you keep ignoring these cracks, don't cry when everything shatters. I gave myself and my team paid leave. For a week, I ignored all company matters. Then Robert Drake, our biggest client, called furious. Ethan, I brought potential partners to your club for meetings. They charged me for a broken glass. What's this about? Drake was Harrison Industries' largest client. To keep him happy, I'd given him unlimited access to our private clubs, all expenses on my tab. Every employee knew this. I called the club manager, who stammered. Mrs. Harrison put Blake in charge of all properties. He says all expenses need pre-approval now, maximum $1,000 per request. Especially for your clients, Mr. Harrison. Sir, everyone's whispering that he's replacing you. They're all trying to curry favor with him. My palm bled as I crushed my wine glass. Blake again. Replace me? He wasn't qualified to shine my shoes. I ordered the manager to fix everything immediately, but Drake had already grabbed the phone. $1,000. Am I a beggar? I only considered Harrison Industries because of you, Ethan. When you move to another company, I'll follow. But I'm done with Harrison Industries. He stormed out with his group. More clients followed, calling to end partnerships. I called Victoria, my voice ice cold. What exactly are you playing at? She responded impatiently. Blake must have his reasons. Stop targeting him. Just buy some gifts for the clients, submit the request a month in advance to Blake. I hung up. Since she valued Blake so much, I'd show her real power. I banned anyone from requesting funds through Blake. Those who'd been kissing up to him suddenly mocked him as a gold digger who'd failed to seduce his way to the top. Blake hid at home, posting on social media, even when misunderstood, "I'll swallow my pain and keep smiling at work." The photo showed his red-rimmed eyes but forced smile. Victoria called immediately, "Is bullying junior employees fun for you? Ethan, stop being childish. Blake and I have a professional relationship. If you're jealous, that's unnecessary. Even if he made mistakes, can't you be the bigger person?" I hung up. To spite me, Victoria bought Blake a BMW. I didn't argue. I told finance to approve massive bonuses for everyone. Executives got luxury cars and jewelry, even janitors received $30,000. Money flowed like water from Harrison Industries' coffers. Victoria finally cracked, calling to stop me. The next day, she brought Blake home. Blake stood behind Victoria, eyes red-rimmed with dark circles, wearing a custom black suit. The same brand Victoria bought for me. Catching my gaze, he immediately bowed. "Mr. Harrison, I was thoughtless. I'm sorry. Yesterday's post wasn't about you. I was just upset. Please forgive me. I'll prioritize all your requests from now on." He kept his head down, playing the victim. I didn't even look at him. "Prioritize my requests. Who do you think you are? Get out." Blake flinched as if I'd slapped him. Victoria exploded. "Blake came to apologize sincerely, and you need to destroy his dignity?" I laughed coldly. "Whether he deserves my money or not, you're my wife. You repeatedly support another man, let him take my position, my responsibilities, give him special treatment, buy him cars and suits, constantly crossing boundaries. Why don't you ask yourself what you want? Blake and I are purely professional. Why won't you believe me?" Her voice turned shrill with guilt. Blake suddenly spoke. "Mr. Harrison, this is all my fault. Please don't fight with Mrs. Harrison because of me. She's been stressed and needs rest. I'll resign immediately and stop causing problems." Victoria grabbed his hand in front of me. "This isn't your fault. Mr. Harrison has already sold the club you visited and the employees are saying I should leave before I cause more trouble." Victoria turned on me. "You sold Stellar Club?" So she did remember its importance. Then why let an outsider manage it? I leaned back. "You broke the rules first. Why would I keep contaminated property? Since you keep crossing lines for Blake, making me beg for access to my own money, I'm done being CEO's husband or vice president. Let's divorce." Victoria stared in shock, words dying in her throat. Seeing I was serious, she panicked and compromised. "I didn't consider your feelings. I promise this won't happen again. You can access funds freely without Blake's approval. I'll limit contact with him." Satisfied? Looking into her eyes, I decided to give our marriage one last chance. Fire Blake and blacklist him. Then I'll pretend nothing happened. Victoria's relief turned sour, but she finally agreed. She released Blake's hand, turning away. "Clear out your desk tomorrow. Don't come back." Blake left reluctantly. That night, Victoria cooked my favorite meals, pretending everything was normal. But we both knew the cracks were permanent. The next morning, we returned to the office together. Blake was packing, red-eyed with humiliation, maintaining dignity despite the mockery around him. Victoria hesitated but walked past without looking. As I passed, Blake suddenly collapsed, spilling hot coffee on himself. "Mr. Harrison, I'm sorry. I know I was wrong, trying too hard to manage Mrs. Harrison's assets properly. I'll leave immediately." He knelt, gathering scattered belongings, playing the victim perfectly. Victoria snapped, pulling him up and yelling at the watching employees, "Anyone who bullies colleagues can pack up too. Harrison Industries doesn't need such people." My expression darkened. Blake had staged this, and Victoria believed it instantly, humiliating me publicly. I told her to check security footage. She just glared, convinced I'd bullied Blake, then took him to her office and slammed the door. For the first time, I was locked out. Whispers followed me as I left the building. That night, Victoria came home and swept everything off the table, cutting my ankle with broken glass. She didn't notice, too busy yelling, "When will you stop?" I agreed to fire him. Why humiliate him publicly? Do you need to destroy people completely? What did Blake do to deserve your hatred? He's just a kid starting his career, not a silver spoon prince like you. He needs to work for everything, and you use your privilege to crush him. She blamed me for every slight against Blake. Even invoking her brother who'd committed suicide after being bullied by rich kids. She was comparing me to those monsters for Blake. I finally lost control, smashing my glass. "Enough. Stop pinning every crime on me. He's not worth my attention. I won't let you bully innocent people. I won't fire Blake. The more you attack him, the more I'll protect him. Even threatening divorce won't make me abandon him." Victoria stormed out, slamming the door. Her message was clear. I was a joke for giving her chances. I removed my wedding ring and threw it in the trash. Let's see how long Harrison Industries lasts with Blake at the helm. Blake's position skyrocketed. Victoria tripled his salary, sent a company-wide email that I'd resigned, and anyone who didn't follow Blake's orders would be fired. She took him to every meal, every meeting. Investment losses earned him a $50,000 watch as encouragement. Blake became the company darling, posting constantly, "Another blessed day. Grateful for my mentor Mrs. Harrison's guidance. Work hard, stay humble." Photos showed designer goods Victoria had gifted him. Maybe Victoria saw him as a brother, making up for her lost sibling. But protecting him With her authority while ignoring the gossip about us? That hurt worse than physical betrayal. She'd hurt me for nobody. I called my brother. I need Harrison Corp's best divorce lawyer. Draft the papers, detailed asset division. I want everything that's mine. I need to win. Silence. Then, you're sure? 3 years ago, I'd returned from Harvard and married Victoria against his wishes. I'd built her company from nothing to billions. He'd respected my choice, given Harrison Industries' market share, protected them. I'd brought my connections, my patents, my hand-picked team. Victoria forgot Harrison Industries existed because of me. She enjoyed my work while accusing me of abusing privilege against Blake. Since she didn't appreciate it, I'd take it all back. I'm sure. Harrison Industries' fate is no longer my concern. I'll send papers tomorrow. Remember, Harrison Corp stands behind you. I spread word I was returning to Harrison Corporation. No need to partner with Harrison Industries for my sake. Though Blake controlled Victoria's money, I'd already secured my assets. My renewable contract worth hundreds of millions? I took it to Harrison Corp. In 2 days, I'd reclaimed 3 years of investment. The effects would hit soon. One last task, divorce. End this farce completely. Victoria had moved out after our fight, trying to make me cave. She was too busy parading Blake around to notice my moves. When she finally called, her voice was cold. Ethan, Mom wants us for dinner tomorrow night. The family doesn't know we're fighting. No need to worry them. Maintain appearances while continuing the Cold War. Looking at the divorce papers, I agreed, fine. If she'd paid any attention, she'd know what I'd been doing. But she hadn't. The show was about to begin. At 7 p.m., I drove to pick up Victoria. As I parked, I saw Blake Princess carrying Victoria, holding her heels. She was wiping his sweat with tissues. Anyone would think they were lovers. Seeing me, Blake rushed to explain, Mr. Harrison, Mrs. Harrison twisted her ankle. I was just helping. Please don't misunderstand. Yet he didn't put her down, not even pretending anymore. His ambition was obvious. Victoria's praise had inflated his ego. He wanted to replace me entirely. Before I could speak, Victoria's warmth vanished. We have nothing to hide. And he's not vice president anymore. As my financial advisor, you report only to me. Don't bow to him. Watching them treat me like a chauffeur, I laughed. Victoria was bringing Blake to meet my family. I didn't care. Victoria meant nothing now. Blake was nobody. I floored it before they buckled up. Victoria's face stayed black the entire drive. The moment we arrived, she dragged Blake inside without looking at me. I grabbed the divorce papers and followed. My parents' expressions were ugly. Victoria, where's Ethan? Why did you bring a stranger? And so, intimately? Mom, Dad, Blake's not a stranger. He's my financial advisor, manages my money. I twisted my ankle. He was helping. Ethan knows. He's behind us. My parents grew angrier. Nonsense. Letting outsiders control your money? What about Ethan's feelings? Injuries don't excuse inappropriate touching in front of your husband. Get down immediately. This is a family. Dinner. Send him away. Fire him tomorrow. Don't disrespect Ethan just because he indulges you. Blake spotted me first, playing victim. Mrs. Harrison, I should go. Mr. Harrison is upset. Victoria stood but kept Blake close, glaring at me coldly. You can tell me directly instead of poisoning my parents against Blake. When will you lose this privileged attitude? Blake's human too. Why doesn't he deserve to eat with us? She thought I was desperately fighting for her attention against this nobody? And questioning who deserved what with me? Victoria dragged Blake to the table, seating him in my place. Blake followed eagerly, smirking in triumph. My parents were furious, apologizing profusely for not raising Victoria better. Previously, I'd have defended her. Not anymore. Her upbringing isn't my concern. Don't apologize to me. I walked to Victoria and placed the papers before her. Since everyone's here, let's be clear. Assets are divided, money transferred. Just sign. Or we can do this in court. Silence fell. What? Victoria nearly tore through the papers. You're insane. Divorcing over this? My parents panicked. Ethan, marriage isn't a game. Let's talk. I stayed silent, resolute. Victoria's eyes reddened. I just let someone else manage money. I've done nothing inappropriate. Why are you being so difficult? Besides, you bullied Blake first. I was just teaching you a lesson about your arrogance. Is apologizing so hard? Why threaten divorce again? What gives you the right to divorce me? I laughed, meeting her eyes. What right? You broke every boundary for him, fought me for him, humiliated me for him. I've said this before. You crossed lines first. I gave you chances. Victoria's eyes filled with tears as she swept the table clean. She'd said I could leave anytime, but now refused to sign, shredding the papers. My parents begged me to reconsider, but I was done. No need. Victoria's phone rang repeatedly with bad news. She looked at me, broken and furious, understanding what I'd done to the company. Ethan, you're really destroying me for revenge? I remained emotionless, not revenge. Taking back what's mine. You didn't want it anyway, right? Sign the papers. Don't make this uglier. I left her collapsed in a chair. My sudden withdrawal devastated Harrison Industries. By the time Victoria sold properties to stabilize things and tried reconciling, I'd moved back to Harrison Corp and blocked all contact. She wouldn't sign. I'd send new papers daily until she did. In my office, my assistant reported, "Mr. Harrison, Mrs. Harrison still refuses to sign. She tore up today's papers, demands to meet you." "Tomorrow, same thing," I said without looking up. "How's Harrison Industries?" "Worse than expected. Partners are canceling contracts. They can't make payroll. Projects are stalling. Everyone says they won't last long. The whole company's panicking. Also, Harrison Industries' entire core tech team contacted me. They'll jump ship with all research for their current salaries. Your thoughts?" "Background checks, then hire them all. Add 10% to their salaries." Unlike Harrison Corp's diversification, Harrison Industries had gone all in on tech, cutting traditional sectors. Without their RZ&D team and funding, they were dead in the water. Victoria should blame herself for not retaining talent, not me. My assistant spread word that Harrison Corp welcomed talent. Within a week, Harrison Industries hemorrhaged their best people. Then Victoria's blind trust came due. "Mr. Harrison, Blake invested Mrs. Harrison's last $10 million from selling everything into a guaranteed high-return, low-risk opportunity. She doesn't know yet, still negotiating with international partners." I laughed coldly. Desperate people believe anything. Blake wanted one big win to permanently replace me in Victoria's heart. But he was just a vain, incompetent kid playing with things beyond his understanding. Everyone knew his reputation for losing money. Only Victoria trusted him with everything. I wondered how she'd react when she discovered Blake had lost her last hope. I wouldn't warn her. My phone lit up Victoria again. New number, same desperate calls. My parents had tried mediating too. I'd been polite initially, but when Harrison Industries collapsed and they visited constantly, my brother banned them from Harrison Corp property. My assistant added, "Mrs. Harrison finally agreed to sign, but only if you meet her personally." Perfect timing. Tell Victoria, 3 days from now, 7 p.m., where we first met. And where we began. And 3 days later, Blake's investment would show results. At the cafe, Victoria waited in a simple white dress, hair down, subtle makeup dressed like our first meeting, trying to invoke better memories. The past was dead. Seeing me, she grabbed my hands. "Ethan, I know I was wrong. Please don't divorce me. I shouldn't have ignored your feelings for Blake, shouldn't have fought with you over him. I just saw him as a little brother. I swear I never had feelings for him. I only love you." Her eyes were red, hands trembling, voice breaking. But I felt nothing. I'd given her too many chances. If she'd kept her promises, we wouldn't be here. I would still be her foundation. She chose this path. I pulled free and handed her the papers. "You wanted to meet first. Stop wasting time." Victoria broke down. "No. I won't sign. Please, one more chance. I'll love you properly, work on our marriage. You think I'm dragging you down? Don't worry, Ivy secured international investment. 10 million for new markets. Harrison Industries will recover. Trust me, let's reconcile." I laughed at her delusions. "You think you can recover?" "What?" She didn't understand. I laughed harder with contempt. "You won't leave my protection, won't give up your sweet little brother, so you refuse to sign, coming here to beg. If you'd cut Blake off decisively, maybe I'd have fooled myself into trying again. But you kept him close, still gave him power, still trying to justify it. Your greed is too obvious. Recovery? Your precious brother already lost your last cent." Victoria went white. What did you say?" I looked at her coldly. "Victoria, without me, you expected that waste to save Harrison Industries?" She swayed, gripping the table, fingers white with pressure. "Impossible. I told him not to touch that money. I was done, 3 days. Sign the papers or see you in court." I left her alone with cruel reality. The next day, my assistant delivered signed papers, excitedly describing the spectacular fight at Harrison Industries. Victoria discovered Blake had lost everything and owed another $10 million. She went crazy, slapping him repeatedly, calling him a thief. Blake, seeing her broke and in debt, dropped his act. He pushed her down, said he'd only pursued her for money, told her to become an escort to pay his salary. Victoria fainted from rage and was rushed to the hospital. But first, she grabbed an employee's fruit knife and stabbed Blake 10 times in the stomach. He died. She'd fought me 10 times for Blake, and he destroyed her without hesitation when she needed him. Not my problem. If she'd seen Blake's true nature earlier, this wouldn't have happened. At least the divorce was final. We were done. Later, Victoria was charged with murder. She begged to see me. Her parents begged me to help. My brother offered his best lawyers if I wanted. I refused. Everyone faces consequences. Victoria's case became business gossip. I bought bankrupt Harrison Industries, rebuilt it into a Harrison Corp subsidiary. Within 3 years, it reached new heights. My name became a business legend. As for Blake? After death, his scandals emerged. Massive debts, sugar mama's toy, only approaching Victoria for money. She hated herself for destroying her marriage for a con artist. Before prison, she wrote me a letter, expressing regret, apologizing for not trusting true love. Too late. I had a new life, new goals. The past was dead.